Hey y'all, welcome to the Realm of Comics, where we discuss everything comics, graphic novels, and manga related. And today I am here to talk about my June possibilities. Now, I haven't done one of these since February, and then I went MIA because life was lifing, and now we're getting back into the swing of things. And I forgot my post-it note, which had my stuff on it, and whatever. I think I can remember most of it from the top of my head. So we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the things that I anticipate reading in the month of June. Now, here's the thing. I haven't really discussed this and probably won't really discuss this on my main channel. So I am taking part in the Amazing Readathon, which is a very interesting competition readathon type of thing, and I'm going to be doing a separate vlog for my primary channel, but I thought I would kind of bring it up here because it's going to influence a lot of the content that's going to be specifically on this channel, because there is a part of the readathon where we do sightseeing prompts. If you didn't know, it's kind of based on The Amazing Race, and so we have these primary prompts, or like where we're visiting the cities, where a lot of what I will be reading is going to be actual like prose or novels in verse, possibly, if it works in my favor. But for the sightseeing prompts, I have been using a lot of comics, manga, and graphic novels already. So I have, and I'm gonna pull this up because I am, by the time that y'all see this, which, I mean, I'm filming this 24 hours before it goes up because I am queen of waiting to the last minute to do anything, and I absolutely love it. But for this readathon already, I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've read 5 graphic novels, comics, and manga, and it is the 2nd of June. And this is going up on the 3rd. Now there's 50 sightseeing prompts, and I must say that every sightseeing prompt, because I've done 7 sightseeing prompts already in 48 hours. I'm very competitive, and I'm very much so about strategy. So don't ask me. I will cover that in the reading vlog if you're looking forward to seeing that at some point. So there's 15. The anticipation is that no one will complete the 50 sightseeing prompts, but y'all know me. You can't tell me that something's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna try to make it happen. Not saying that I can make it happen, because I don't know what the rest of this month is gonna look like. Life is probably gonna life. And I have a kid, I have a full-time job. I'm also reading for a book competition type of thing for my state, and so there's a lot that I'll be reading in June and trying to get accomplished before we fall into fall of this year. Fall into fall, of course. But I say all that to say that I want to primarily use my knowledge of comic, graphic novels, and manga to really push those sightseeing prompts, and that's what I've been heavily doing. I've been leaning on those things for sightseeing prompts. Now, everything that I'm reading this month is not going to be a part of the readathon. I do have some stuff for work that I need to get done. I have book club this month, and that stuff needs to get done. So let's start with book club. Last week we did book club for May, and we ended up reading volumes 1 through 3 of Monstrous, and then also You Brought Me the Ocean, which I have not reviewed 3 out of those 4 things. What is new here? And I actually want to continue on with Monstrous. I don't know how far I'm going to get into it because of the readathon, but I would at least like to pick up another volume of Monstrous. So right now, the thing is volume 4 of Monstrous. Now, I think I'm going to put this on hold at the library simply because of the fact that I'm going to be very, very, very careful with my Hoopla checkouts. Now, I have my kiddo's Hoopla and my Hoopla. She's too young to use it for right now, so I use it. and we get 10 checkouts per card. So I have to be very mindful of what I'm going to do with these Hoopla checkouts, because I think I'm going to need a good portion of them for the readathon, and then I've already used 2 of those checkouts to check out Clementine. So our reads for book club this month are Clementine Book 1, Clementine Book 2, and then also a life story, Spider-Man by Chip Zdarsky. But that one, I think Jessica said that we could get through Kindle Unlimited. So I'm hoping that I can just use a KU checkout for that. And so 2 of those 20 have to be designated for Clementine, because I'm pretty sure that my library does not have a physical copy of those, and I am definitely not in a financial space to buy those. So those are the big book club picks. Bleeding a little bit over from last book club, I do want to, like I said, read Monstrous Volume 4. Now, I don't know what else I'm going to read for the month. Here's the thing. Let me explain why. These prompts in my head, I could come up with a TBR. In fact, I did kind of draft a TBR for one of the sightseeing prompts, because we have sightseeing prompts for 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 points. And each one has 10, with the added bonus of it being an LGBT author and it being within your teen genre. So I'm on teen romance, and so I'll get 50 points extra if it's an LGBT author, and another 50 points if it's a romance. So what I've been trying to do is heavily focus on queer comics, graphic novels, and manga, and those that have romance element. I don't think that that's going to work for the entire month, because it's already a limited selection, and then they would have to take that selection and fit it within the confines of each prompt. I am also a mood reader, so setting myself up for a very distinct plan never truly works. I kind of just go with the flow, and it's been working for me so far. So I came up with that plan, and I did none of the things that I said I was going to do, but I still completed 7 sightseeing prompts within 48 hours, just based off of things that I knew, things that I was familiar with. And on top of that, I do just want to read some things that I currently have checked out from the library. So I'm going to show you 6 things that I currently have checked out from the library that I want to make it through, because I just need to get them read and check back into the library. Now, whether they fit into the prompts, I see that a handful of them actually do. They could work if I wanted them to work, but we'll see when I get there. So the first thing that I have is the Remarried Empress Volume 2. I read the Remarried Empress Volume 1 earlier this year and really enjoyed it. I have been anxiously waiting this to come back in. Someone had it checked out and it finally came in, and now I am ready to dive back in and get started on it. This is a manhwa that is about an empress who is being treated horribly by her husband, who's the emperor, and they grew up as kids together, and they were betrothed when they were young, and he ends up falling for a rando. Like, she's pretty random. He brings her back to the castle and is pretty much tells his wife, you need to treat her with some respect and decency. And she, the empress, is kind of like, I'm a whole empress and you got me treating your side piece like what? And the side piece pretty much is like, yeah, I'm like your sister. And the empress is like, girl, no, you're not. And so I felt so much for her, because it's one thing like to expect your husband to have like flings, especially when we're talking about between, you know, an emperor, empress, monarchy, that type of situation where that stuff in that time period was expected for your husband to have mistresses. But it's another when your husband bring the mistress in your face and tell you that you must be kind to her and that you must show her respect. Like, in what world? So I thought the first one was really good, and I'm really excited to pick that one up. I also have the manga Medalist. I know nothing about this. I saw it on our coming soon page for the library, and I saw that it had something to do with figure skating, and it's a manga, and so I thought I would randomly check it out. I think that Shay has read this. I feel like Shay has read this, but I can't remember what her thoughts were about it. But I was just excited because it's figure skating. And then this is one that I am pretty sure I am going to use for the readathon. I think this is one that I may even read within the next day or so for the readathon. I might read tonight for the readathon, because one of the things that Bree has done with this readathon is that, and I should have said this at the beginning, the readathon is being hosted by Bree from Four Paws in a Book. You should have said that a while ago, and I didn't. I apologize. But one of the interesting things that she's done with this readathon is that you can read as many sightseeing prompts as you want once you've completed the leg of a race. So once a city prompt drops, you have to complete that city prompt first. It means like it has to be logged first, and then you can start logging your sightseeing prompts. So I am trying to get as many in as possible, because you don't know when the next city prompt is going to drop. It's all speculation. She could drop it at any point. And so then if I'm in the middle of something, then I would have to switch over to trying to hurry up and finish my city prompt before I start diving back into some of my sightseeing. So with that, I want to get Something's Wrong with Us, volume 15, out the way. This is going to be one that I think I'm going to use for the 5-star prediction prompt, because this series has been nothing but 4, 4.5, and 5-star reads for me. And these last few volumes have been immaculate, and I'm coming very close to the end. I have volumes 15, 16, and 17 checked out from the library, and I'm definitely looking forward to diving into this. There's nothing that I can say about this, but this is a dark romance manga, and it is the most chaotic thing that I have ever read. This is not my first time reading Natsumi Ando. I read Kitchen Princess by this mangaka, but this is on a different level. Like this is different. This is extremely different. Then I have the Cursed Princess Club Volume 2. Now I don't think I plan to use this for any specific prompts in the readathon. This might just be something that I pick up on my own at this point, but I read Cursed Princess Club Volume 1 and loved it. It was so good, y'all. If you have not read Cursed Princess Club, you're missing out, my friends. You're missing out, because Cursed Princess Club has taken me on a thrill of a ride. It's more heartwarming than I think I expected, because this is definitely one of those beauties in the eye of the beholder. Don't judge a book by its cover, that someone may look some way on the outside but have like the most wonderful heart and caring spirit. And I adored this. This was so good, and I'm so excited to pick up volume 2, which is why I'm like, even if this doesn't necessarily fit within the framework of the read-on, this is one that I do want to make it through at some point this month. And then I have volume 3 of Candy and Cigarettes. This is a series that I am convinced is not for everybody. This is definitely, I mean, clearly she is not of age, and I think that that is one of the huge gripes for people when they are discussing this manga. But I do think it brings up some very interesting conversations. She's a kid and she's an assassin, and clearly on this cover she's smoking cigarettes, and there she's holding a gun. But volume 2 ended in a way that really made me want to continue with the series, especially because we're looking at some familial dynamics that I think were kind of even unexpected for me as a reader, something that I really wasn't anticipating, and how it impacts her and how it impacts this older gentleman that's kind of like her partner in crime. And they're getting their orders from this woman who's very complicated. I think with the last volume, I feel like she's definitely in the morally gray area, and the work that they kind of do is really morally gray, but it's how she was trained and manipulated is a key aspect to this book. So I think that the covers almost do this a little bit of injustice, because she has been pushed to become this person. She was stripped of her childhood, and I think that you get to see the after effects of that and how brutal that is on her psyche and her, like, just her personality as a whole. So really interested in picking this one up. Again, like I said, I know that this is not a series for everyone. I'm well aware of that this is not a series for everyone. And the last one that I have on my list of things that I want to read, this is surprising because I haven't read this in years and I don't own the rest of the editions, but that's fine. And that is Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Volume 1. This is the Eternal edition, and one of the prompts for the readathon, one of the sightseeing prompts, is to read a special edition of a book. And I don't typically collect special editions. Y'all know this. I'm not a special edition girly. I just don't. For me personally, I don't see the purpose. That's me. But if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. It's not me, you know, yucking your yum. It's just not for me. But I do have a lot of special editions when it comes to, of course, comics, mangas, and graphic novels, just because certain things end up going out of print and then they release them in these different editions. So, like, for example, when that prompt came up, I was debating between reading this and then reading this, Paradise Kiss, which is a 20th anniversary edition of Ayazawa's work, which has all 4 volumes combined together. That's not to say that this won't be a possibility, because you never know, but I think for the sake of time and how many other things I need to get accomplished this month, this is looking like the safer option for me. But I'm not gonna vote this out because I've been meaning to read this for a very, very long time and I still haven't done it. I need to get to it, but this is seeming like the safer option.